All right. Just want to make sure I can still be heard.
Yes, you can.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're going to start the meeting. Can you please call the roll?
Kasuga,
Here.
Cervantes,
Here.
Rogers.
Here.
Thank you. Quorum's established.
All right, so we are meeting today for the Board of Psychology Legislative and Regulatory Affairs Committee meeting. I am here with Dr. Rogers and Dr. Cervantes, and Dr. Rogers will be heading our mindfulness exercise this morning. So I'll have you take it away.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kasuga. I appreciate the invitation to offer a mindfulness exercise at the start of every meeting. I will keep this brief. I think I always try to practice from whatever is alive for me in this moment. And what I have been trying to center my attention on lately is really just my breath. I feel like life is very complicated and challenging these days. We have a lot happening around us. And so, what's been really helpful for me is just coming back to basics. And so, I'd like to just offer a mindfulness exercise focusing on mindfulness of the breath. So, for those who are inclined to participate, feel free to join in. For those who would prefer to opt out, that's also fine. So for those who are interested in participating in this exercise, I invite you to find a position that is comfortable. Mindfulness can be practiced seated, standing, walking, or lying down. We will be seated today. And if it feels comfortable for you, you can close your eyes or gently lower your gaze, whichever is most supportive for your practice. And for the next few moments, I will watch the time and I will offer you the opportunity to just rest for the next little while. One of my mindfulness teachers invited me to early in my mindfulness work. He invited me to allow the mindfulness practice to be a place where I could release all striving, trying to force things to be a certain way or expecting things to be other than the way they are. So mindfulness is the opportunity to embrace the moment as it is, not how we would prefer it to be, but welcoming it just as it is. So bringing the mind, the heart, and the body into this present moment. Perhaps noticing your feet on the ground, the point of contact between the body and whatever you might be sitting on, whether it's a chair, couch, the floor. And just allowing yourself to be supported by whatever it is you're sitting on, and also being supported by the earth beneath you. Allowing yourself to be held in this moment and supported by the earth. And allowing the attention to rest on the breath. Paying attention to the inhale and the exhale. Perhaps seeing if you can track an entire cycle of the breath. The mind will typically wander, which is not a problem. See if you can notice that the mind has wandered and gently and with care return it back to the breath. Noticing the way the chest and the belly rise and expand on the inhale, and then fall away on the exhale. And as we notice the ways in which the chest and the belly rise and expand and then fall away, the breath really does bring us back into close contact, not only with our bodies, but with this present moment. So noticing the stillness of the body and the movement of the breath. Allowing for the mind, the heart, and the body to settle. And as we focus on the breath, and as we notice the mind, the heart, and the body settling or not, perhaps you can touch into what your intention is for this moment or being on this call today. Perhaps the intention is to be fully present, or the intention is to share your perspective on some item we might cover today, or to learn a bit more about how the board works. Whatever the intention is, see if you can let that be your anchor for this time together. So being rooted by our intention for today, being anchored by the breath, and being present in this moment and each moment as it unfolds while we're together today. And so as we begin to bring this practice to a close, remember that you can always return to the breath. Mindfulness is just that close. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and bring your attention back into the room. And I will ring the bell 3 times to close out our practice.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rogers. And I got so excited about mindfulness, the mindfulness exercise that um, we skipped the CPD announcement by Dr. Polk. So I'll invite Mr. Polk. I promoted you as Dr. Mr. Polk um, to tell us about CPD credits for today's meeting.
Thank you and good morning. Attending today's committee meeting provides you with CPD credit under category number 1, attendance at a California Board of Psychology meeting. The hours credited for today's meeting will also apply to law and ethics. For your CPD record, please notate today's date as June 6, 2025, and note that we are here for the Legislative and Regulatory Affairs Committee meeting. Please maintain this record as certificates of attendance will not be provided. At the end of today's meeting, I will announce how many hours will be credited for attending the full meeting. For attendees who joined by phone by calling the U.S. toll number and use the access code, please send an email to the following email address: bopce@dca.ca.gov. Again, the email address is bopce, as in Board of Psychology Continuing Education, @dca.ca.gov. In the email, please provide your name, license number, and the phone number of the phone you called in from. Attendees who signed in using a computer or mobile device from the WebEx link, your attendance is automatically documented and no further information is necessary as your name and email address is recorded upon joining the meeting. Again, at the end of the meeting, I will announce how many hours will be credited for attending the meeting today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Polk. And again, I want to welcome all the participants for today's committee meeting. It seems like we have about a little bit over 200 in attendance for today. So that's always a welcome sight. So moving on, we are going to proceed with agenda item number 3, public comment for items not on the agenda. Note that the committee may not discuss or take action on any matter raised during this public comment comment section, except to decide whether to place the matter on the agenda of a future meeting. And this is based on Government Code sections 11125 and 11125.7a. So any public comment?
This is the moderator. Are there any public comments in the room in Sacramento?
We do not have any members of the public in this room.
All right, thank you. Then we will turn to our WebEx attendees. If anyone would like to make a comment for an item that is not already on the agenda, you may look for the hand icon and click that. The hand item will be at the bottom of your computer WebEx screen, or if you're on a mobile device, it may be behind the 3-dot other options. And if you are a call-in user, you may press *3 to raise your hand. And each person will have 2 minutes to speak with a 30-second warning. And we ask people to speak only once per agenda item. So I do see we have a raised hand from Catherine Anderson. Catherine, I'm going to send you a request to unmute your microphone and you'll have 2 minutes.
I apologize. I raised my hand in error.
All right, that was easy. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I believe there are no further requests for comment. Shall I close that public comment feature?
Yes, please. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, moving on, we'll have agenda item number 4, discussion and possible approval of the committee meeting minutes for April 11, 2025. Do I hear any motion?
I move that we approve the April 11th committee meeting minutes.
All right, it's been moved by Dr. Rogers.
And I can second that.
Thank you, and second by Dr. Cervantes. Any discussion about the minutes from the committee members? Seeing none, can we open the public comment section for any public comment on the current motion?
Certainly. And to clarify, in the meeting room in Sacramento, do you have any public attendees?
We do not.
All right, thank you. I'll stop calling on you, but you can let me know if people do end up coming late. So for our WebEx attendees, if anyone has a comment on the minutes or the motion, you may look for the hand icon at the bottom of the WebEx screen. You may, if you are a call-in user, you may press *3 to raise your hand. And each speaker will have 2 minutes with a 30-second warning. Any comments on the minutes? I do not see any requests for comment. Shall I close that?
Yes, please. Thank you, Madam
You're
Moderator.
welcome.
Okay, can we call the vote?
Sugar,
Aye.
Cervantes,
Aye.
Rogers.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay. Moving on to agenda item number 5, legislation from the 2025 legislative session, review and possible action. I welcome Ms. Mancia.
Yes. Okay, so we have 5 bills with active positions. SB 775, Board of Psychology and Board of Behavioral Sciences. This bill extends the statutory authority of the California Board of Psychology and Board of Behavioral Sciences from January 1st, 2026 to January 1st, 2030. On May 9th, 2025, SB 775 was presented to the board for possible position recommendation, and the board determined to support if amended to include requests that were as part of the sunset bill, not originally included in the bill. As of May 21st, the board submitted a support if amended position letter to the Senate Business Professions and Economic Development Committee. And as of June 4th, SB 775 was read for a 3rd time and passed the Senate and ordered to the Assembly. AB 489, healthcare professions in deceptive terms. AB 489 would establish legal provisions that prohibit artificial intelligence use of certain terms and letters and phrases that falsely imply that the care being provided by AI is from a licensed or certified natural person in the healthcare profession. On February 27th, AB 489 was presented to the board for possible position recommendation, and the board determined to support AB 489, requesting the amendment of including reports and assessments. In collaboration with the Board of Registered Nursing and the Assembly Health Committee, on March 28th, the board submitted proposed amendments, which were implemented and amended on April 10th. As of June 3rd, AB 489 passed the Assembly and is in the Senate and read for the first time. SB 470, Bagley Open Meeting Act. As originally introduced, this bill permanently extended the provisions for state body teleconferencing that were originally set to expire January 1st, 2026. However, on April 10th, the proposed bill was amended to extend the repeal date from January 1st, 2026 to January 1st, 2030. On May 9th, SB 470 was presented to the board for possible position recommendation, and the board determined to support SB 470. On May 21st, the board submitted a support position letter to the Governmental Organizations Committee and Judiciary Committee, and as of June 3rd, SB 470 passed the Senate and is in Assembly and read for the first time. SB 641, Department of Consumer Affairs and Department of Real Estate. The proposed bill expands upon the governor's Executive Order N-1525, which was issued on January 29th, 2025 in response to Southern California state of emergency. It postpones for 1 year the license renewal fees for the Department of Consumer Affairs licenses that expire between January 1st, 2025 and January 30, 2025. On May 9th, SB 641 was presented to the board for possible position recommendation, and the board determined to support SB 641. On May 21st, 2025, the board submitted a support position letter for SB 641 to the Public Safety Committee and the Business Professions and Economic Development Committee. And as of June 3rd, SB 641 also passed the Senate and is in the Assembly and read for the first time. And the last, SB 579, Mental Health and Artificial Intelligence. This bill would require the Secretary of Government Operations to appoint a Mental Health and Artificial Intelligence Working Group by July 1st, 2026, that would determine the role of artificial intelligence in mental health settings. On May 9th, 2025, SB 579 was presented to the board for possible position recommendation, and the board determined to support if amended with the following recommendation, and that is to include one of whom is a licensed psychologist. On May 21st, 2025, the board submitted a support position letter for SB 579 to the Senate Intergovernmental Organizations Committee. As of May 23rd, SB 579 failed to meet the fiscal committee hearing deadline pursuant to Rule 61A5, and SB 579 is now a 2-year bill and may be acted upon January 2026. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Mencia. I do have a question on SB 579. Did we receive any feedback from our position letter from the authors of the bill?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Is there any questions from the committee members with regards the a brief review of our 2025 legislative session on bills that we have a position on? Yes, Dr. Cervantes?
I appreciate the update, Ms. Mencia. When you provide updates on bills that we've taken positions, it would be helpful if you presented the position that we took on the bill, because we have a large audience of some people might be new to our proceedings and may not be following. I have a question, and this is for Mr. Burke. I don't know. Let me ask it, and hopefully I don't butcher it. On SB 775, our sunset bill, there was a number of provisions that we requested that were not included in the bill language. And my question is twofold. One is, for example, on the issue of foreign degrees and the confusion that it causes, is there administrative solutions for that? And if so, could you share those with us at the next board meeting so that we can kind of, I feel like there's a lot of things that we need the legislature to help us with, but we need to be strategic in our requests and ask for a more narrow list of items 1 year, or pace it out in some way so that we're moving our legislative agenda forward. I don't know what the answer is. I'm just kind of asking, because I'm just, how do we get to the best solution on these items that are not resolved? And I also don't want to spend staff time pursuing something that we already have feedback that it's not going to move through the legislative process.
Thank you for your question. We can absolutely seek to, at the next board meeting, present on potential administrative ways if the legislature doesn't take up all of our amendments. The bill has left the Senate. It's now gone to the Assembly, and we have been in conversation with the Assembly committee and the consultant on the amendments that have not been included. They seem to have been taking Board of Behavioral Sciences amendments first on the Senate side, And now that it's come to the Assembly, they're looking at our potential amendments. So we've been in conversation about the research psychoanalysts, the foreign degrees, and the other outstanding requests. They're talking to other stakeholders at the same time, but there will be more amendments coming to the bill, which should include more of our language in the coming weeks. So we'll keep monitoring, but I'm hopeful that a lot of what we requested will end up in the final chapter legislation.
Okay, thank you for that quick update. That was a lot in my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cervantes. And I took your point, and I just wanted to provide information to our attendees that the bills that were reviewed, we all have a support position except for SB 579, which we have a support if amended position. Any other committee questions? Can we open it to the public?
Certainly. This is the WebEx moderator. If anyone would like to make a comment on any of the legislation for bills with active positions, you may look for the hand icon and click that to raise your hand. Our call-in users may press *3 to raise their hand. And as a reminder, if you're on a mobile device, your hand icon might be behind the 3-dot other options. We ask people to speak only once per agenda item, and we will have a 2-minute limit with a 30-second warning. Our first commenter is Lisa Gunderson. Lisa, I'm sending you a request to unmute your mic.
Greetings, everybody. I'm Dr. Lisa Gunderson. I was just making a request that the next time when the bills are read, if it could be done a little bit slower. It was really hard for me to keep up. And if Dr. Kasuga, is it possible for you to repeat what you said our positions are on each of the bills, please?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Gunderson. So we do have support position for all of the bills that we have an active positions on that were discussed today, except for SB 579, which we have a support if amended position on the mental health and artificial working group. Our position is we wanted to make sure that that there is at least one psychologist that's part of the working group. And then
a quick question about that. What type of psychologist are you recommending? A clinical psychologist as well as another specific type of psychologist?
I think we just recommended that it's someone that is licensed by our board.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and I do not see any further requests for comment. Shall I close the public comment feature?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Kasuga, could I ask a quick question for clarification, please? For SB 775, the one that we were just speaking of, in the board packet on page 21, I see that our position is support if amended. So would that make support if amended for SB 775 and SB 579? I just wanted to clarify.
Yes, I think that is correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on, we will go to agenda item number 5B. I will welcome Ms. Mancia, and as requested, let's try to discuss the bills in a slower fashion, and we'll have Ms. Mencia take it away.
Okay.
And you may need to, let's see, I believe you may need to turn off your speakers in order to present remotely, unless you're in the room, in which case you don't need to use your own speakers at all. Would you like to try again? And I have just gotten word that we have a technical issue in the room.
I am in the room.
Should we take a 5-minute break to try to see if we can resolve the technical issue?
I will defer to staff in the room but I am in contact with them over Teams. Okay, we may be all set again.
Okay.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. All right, so Dr. Kasuga, we will be beginning with AB 82. I know it's not reflected on the current slide, but it is, I believe, number 10 on the agenda item.
Can we move the slide to reflect that? There you go. Okay, we'll start with B10.
Yes, healthcare, legally protected healthcare activity. So this bill expands upon the existing California laws protecting reproductive healthcare by extending similar protections to gender-affirming healthcare. The bill proposes key provisions such as expanding the definition of legally protected healthcare activity to include gender-affirming healthcare and mental health services, ensuring uniform application across state protections, prohibiting courts from issuing warrants or subpoenas to investigate or obtain evidence related to legally protected healthcare activities, including gender-affirming care, and barring law enforcement and public agencies from cooperating with out-of-state investigations related to lawful gender-affirming care or abortion in California. Additionally, gender-affirming healthcare providers, employees, and volunteers facing threats or harassment may apply to the Secretary of State's Address Confidentiality Program, mirroring protections currently available to reproductive healthcare workers. AB 82 was referred to the Public Safety Committee and Privacy and Consumer Protection Committee on March 28, 2025. On April 10, 2025, AB 82 was amended to define covered healthcare services facilities to mean gender-affirming healthcare services facility or reproductive healthcare services facility. On May 14, 2025, AB 82 was set for first hearing and referred to suspense filed by Appropriations Committee. On May 23rd, it was amended to remove the Confidentiality of Medical Information Act. And as of June 3rd, AB 82 passed the Assembly and is in the Senate and read for the first time.
All right, thank you, Ms. Mencia. So this is actually a bill that was asked us by one of our attendees to see if we can watch this bill during our last board meeting. And so we took it upon to make sure we add it on our watch bill. Any questions from the committee since this is a new watch bill? All right.
Dr. Kasuga, I don't have any questions or comments about this particular bill, but just as a way of helping folks who are on the call with us today, Ms. Mencia, would it be possible for you to share the page number that these bills are found on in our board packet in case people are trying to follow along, especially since we started with number 10. I just want to make sure that people will be able to keep up with the information that we're presenting. That's all. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I don't have the, I had to step away and I have to scroll down for the page number.
Oh, page 301.
Page 301.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. Thank you. For this bill, we'll have the public comment at the for this one right now, and then for the rest of the watch bill later. So let's open it up for public comment right now on this item, AB 82.
All right, this is the moderator, and if anyone would like to make a comment, you may look for the hand icon at the bottom of your WebEx screen. We do have a slide with instructions, and if you are a call-in user, you may press *3 to raise your hand. We do have a couple of hands raised, and we'll give 2 minutes per person with a 30-second warning, and we ask you to speak only once per agenda item. To clarify with legal, number 5B10 is one item, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so the first person who raised their hand is Kevin Jervik. Kevin, I'll send you a request to unmute your mic.
Thank you. I don't have a comment, but could you just briefly explain what it means you're doing?
It's very hard to hear you, Mr. Jervik.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is there any way, can you hear me now?
Now
Yes.
it's better, yes.
Okay, I didn't have a comment. Provide a brief definition.
Okay, you're fading in and out. Is it something where you can lean closer to the microphone?
You know what? I'm going to try to figure it out, so I don't want to waste everyone's time. So,
But you needed an explanation of what?
just what a watch bill is.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
I can do that. So basically, these are bills that we don't have a position, but we are watching it, either because it is related to the board or the practice of psychology. And so these are some of the bills that our staff is watching, or like either participants have raised and or the public has raised and told us to watch. So they are the bills that we don't have a position on. And previously, those are bills that we have a position on, whether we support or we oppose those bills.
Thank you very much, and sorry for the bad audio.
No problem. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, our next request is from Taylor Rind. Taylor, I'll send you a request to unmute, and you'll have 2 minutes.
Good morning. This is Tyler Rindy with the California Psychological Association. CPA has a support position on AB 82 by Assemblymember Ward. This bill is important for our members, predominantly around the Safe at Home program, which is a confidential address program provided by the Secretary of State's office. That program was established in the late 90s to help victims of domestic violence and stalking to have a substitute mailing address that they can use with the state, local governments to help protect and keep their address confidential, help them. And it's been expanded to include reproductive healthcare workers. It's also been expanded in recent years to cover the local or government officials, particularly around election interference and election workers that were facing threats, also for public health officers and public health workers. So we're really supportive of this bill to expand it to cover gender affirming healthcare providers, including mental health care providers. We've heard from some of our members around that they've been facing threats, facing situations that are deeply concerning. And so we're very supportive of this bill. So would request that the board end up considering taking a support position on it. I understand the bill is much broader than that, but we're really focused on the Safe at Home program provision. So respectfully request a support position from the Board of Psychology if amenable to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the third request for comment is from Gurveer Dosanjh. Gurveer, I'm going to send you a request to unmute your mic, and you'll have 2 minutes with a 30-second warning. And Gurveer, were you able to? I'll send you a second request. All right, Gurveer, are you having audio difficulties? You can raise your hand again if you are, and we can turn the chat feature on so that you can participate in that manner. All right, so let me turn the chat feature on. This will only be for Gurveer to send his question. So Gurveer, in the bottom right of your computer screen, you should see a chat bubble, and you can type your comment in there, and we will give you the 2 minutes to type. And thanks to our attendees for your patience in our meeting our regulations on public comment. All right.
Did we lose Dr. Kasuga?
I believe we lost a number of people. Yes, unfortunately, it looks like we have. I will. Okay. Yes, let's possibly take a break, and we will. Yes, staff in the room is also asking for a break. So
Okay.
they asked for a 15-minute break. Would that be acceptable to you? All right. So we did you want to say 11 a.m. or 10:58?
11 a.m. works fine for me. How about you, Dr.
All right.
Cervantes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Let's get everyone back.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll come back at 11 a.m. Thank you for the patience of our attendees.
Thank you.
All right, it's 11 o'clock in my clock. Can we call the attendance? The roll.
Kasuga,
Here.
Cervantes,
Here.
Rogers.
Here.
Thank you. Quorum is established.
Thank you. I apologize for the technical difficulties. So we're gonna resume public comments on agenda item 5B, number 10.
Yes, and the issue we had was in the middle of Gurveer Dosanjh's comment, and so Gurveer was able to use the chat, and the comment was, I was wondering why the anesthesiologist assistant bill, which is number 8, is a watch bill for the Board of Psychology. So if you'd like to defer that to the other general public comment, we certainly may.
Okay.
And then we do have a request for comment from Catherine Anderson. So Catherine, I'm going to send you a request to unmute. And Catherine, was that a Question on item 10 or?
I just wanted to make sure I was checked in back after the break. Sorry.
Thank
I'm
you.
just learning how this works.
All right. So there are no further raised hands or questions for item 10. Shall I close public comment?
Yes, please. Thank you, Madam Moderator.
You're welcome.
Okay. And we'll proceed with the watch bill starting from item B1. I'll have Ms. Mencia go over the watch bills.
Okay, so the board does not have actual positions on the remaining watch bills, and so they do not currently impact the board. I can ask for comments or questions on any of the watch bills. I know somebody did have one on one of them.
Yes, it's I believe it's Watch Bill AB 985 by Assembly Member Aarons, anesthesiologist assistant, and this can be found on page 263. Can you give us a little bit of background? I know this is kind of like there's a lot of revisions that happen in this bill, and initially we were part of the
Yes, AB 985 number 8. So this bill was proposed to amend existing law under the Medical Practice Act, which regulates the licensure and practice of physicians and surgeons, and it was specifically would make it unlawful for the use of doctor and letters. So it was originally named titles, doctors and letters. As of March 24th, 2025, AB 985 was amended to specify that it makes it unlawful for anyone to call themselves an anesthesiologist assistants. So language pertaining to the name tags and the use of doctor was removed. Because of the original language of the use of doctors and name tags, we had it as a watch bill. Even though language was changed pretty significantly, we kept it as a watch bill just in case it reverted back to original language of name tags and letters.
Thank you. As I think a little bit of background about the types of bills that the board watches. So we are definitely invested in any changes or anything that affects the use of the title doctor, because as psychologists, it's something that is important to our practice. And so if there's any bill that pertains to the use of the title doctor, we always try to keep an eye out on it, just to make sure it doesn't infringe on our ability to use the title doctor for our own profession. So that's the background on that. With regards to committee, do you have any watch bills that you want to discuss? Seeing none, can we open the public? Oh,
sorry.
sorry. I see Dr. Cervantes.
I don't. I'm using a different version. I'm using WebEx on my internet screen, so I don't know if I pressed the right button or not. I was trying to raise my hand.
No
Sorry about that. I would be inclined to offer a motion to take a position of support on AB 82.
Okay. Do I hear a second? I'll second the motion, and we can have a discussion. Do you want to start the discussion, Dr. Cervantes?
Yeah, I think this is a very timely issue for healthcare providers. There has been a high-profile incidents of violence, and I'm sensitive to that and sensitive to the ability of consumers to be able to access mental health practitioners without fear, including or especially for the practitioner to do their practice without fear. And so for those reasons, I move to take a position of support on AB 82.
Thank you.
I'm in agreement with that. Thank you so much, Dr. Cervantes, for lifting that up.
All right. Yes. So like the interesting thing about this bill is the timing of it, and I really appreciate the board staff for putting together information for us to be able to have a discussion and to be in this position to decide whether we're going to have a position for this bill, because I think the turnaround was pretty quick. So I really wanted to just acknowledge board staff, and I agree with Dr. Cervantes that that when we're thinking about protecting consumers of psychological services in California, we're looking at the safety of everybody, including practitioners, as well as the consumers. Because if the practitioners don't feel safe, then that will affect access to the services that we want Californians to receive. And I'm in the mindset that lack of access can be considered not being able to kind of like protect the practice of psychology. And it's good to be able to provide support on ways to increase access to mental health services. So with that said, should we open it to public comment again with regards this is with regards to the motion to support and to recommend to the board a support position on AB 82?
Yes, please.
All right, this is the moderator, and we have reopened public comment. If anyone would like to make a comment on this this motion, you may look for the hand icon at the bottom of the WebEx screen or behind the 3-dot other options if you're on a mobile device. And our call-in users can press *3 to raise their hand. Each person will have 2 minutes with a 30-second warning. We do have a request for comment. We did have one from Jay Fishback, PhDOC, but that hand has gone down. But Michelle Olson, I'm going to, oh, there you are. Thank you. So I'm going to send Jay Fishback a request to unmute. You'll have 2 minutes.
Yes, I think I can tell from the title of the bill what it's about, but could you please be more specific and just give me a synopsis of the bill? Thank you.
Ms. Mencia, can you provide a synopsis again? I think in between the technical issues and all that, I think it's good to give a little bit of a brief summary on AB 82.
Sure. The bill proposes key provisions such as expanding the definition of legally protected healthcare activity to include gender-affirming healthcare and mental health services, ensuring uniform application across state protections. It also prohibits the courts from issuing warrants or subpoenas to investigate or obtain evidence related to legally protected healthcare activities, including gender-affirming care, and bars law enforcement and public agencies from cooperating with out-of-state investigations related to lawful gender-affirming care or abortion in California. The bill prohibits online posting, sale, or distribution of personal information or images of gender-affirming healthcare patients, providers, and their household members if done with the intent to incite violence or threats. Additionally, gender-affirming healthcare providers, employees, and volunteers facing threats or harassment may apply to the Secretary of State's Address Confidentiality Program that mirrors protections currently available to reproductive healthcare workers.
And again, This can be found on page 301 of the continuous packet. All right.
All right,
Can we
thank
get
you.
the next public comment?
Exactly. Yes, Michelle Olson. I'm going to send your request to unmute so that you will have 2 minutes with a 30-second warning.
Thank you. Good morning. I just want to thank my colleague from CPA for bringing this forward, and also to the committee members for your quick response on this. I think it is vitally and crucially important that we be in support of our transgender community, as well as the providers who have the best of intentions in providing wellness and care and life-saving intervention for them. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for that. Living in a place that is very close to a very public issue that happened recently for a transgender athlete. I just want to just affirm how timely and important this work is. So thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I do not see any further requests for public comment. Shall I close the public comment section?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
And would it be Miss Whitney who's going to be taking the vote? Or do you
Oh,
have more
I
comment?
I just have one quick comment, Dr. Kasuga. I appreciate the fact that we are trying to respond to this in a time-sensitive manner. Again, for people who might be new to attending these calls, I think it's helpful to share a bit with them about how this process works. So we'll take a vote, and then based on the vote, this will be brought to the full board for discussion at the next full board meeting. So we'll discuss it again in August, is it? At the full board meeting, and then action will be taken from there. So just want to give people some context for how these things move along.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. That's well appreciated, Dr. Rogers. All right. And for the vote,
Kasuga,
aye.
Cervantes,
Aye.
Rogers.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. And that again is motion to recommend to the full board a support position on AB 82, which was moved by Dr. Cervantes and seconded by Dr. Kasuga. Okay, so we'll move on to agenda item 6, which is legislative items for future meeting. The committee may discuss other items of legislation in sufficient detail to determine whether such items should be on a future committee or board meeting agenda, and or whether to hold a special meeting of the committee or board to discuss such items pursuant to Government Code Section 11125.4. So any legislative items for future meeting from the committee members? Seeing none, let's open it up for the public. This is definitely welcome for the board to, now that we have more people that are attending.
Certainly. So this is the moderator. If anyone has any legislative items they'd like to bring to the committee's attention, you may look for the hand icon at the bottom of your WebEx screen. That hand icon might be behind the 3 other options if you're on a mobile device. And if you are a call-in attendee, you may press *3 to raise your hand. Each speaker will have 2 minutes with a 30-second warning. Are there any other items to bring to the committee's attention? I do not see any requests for comment. Shall I close that comment feature?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
And just to inform the public, some of the legislative items that the board usually either takes on a future meeting or for watch bills. These are, again, any bills that are impacting the board operations or the practice of psychology. So either of those are welcome should you find a bill or any legislative item that you want us to discuss in the future. All right, moving on to agenda item number 7. This is our regulatory update, review, and consideration of additional changes. I will have Ms. Mencia take us through the different items.
Yes. Okay. So the first, 7A, the disciplinary guidelines and uniform standards related to substance abuse and licensees. So this regulatory package is currently in the production stage. Staff is working with regulatory counsel to finalize the edits. Once these edits are finalized, they will be presented to the board at the August board meeting for review of proposed changes. Once approved, if approved, the package will then be sent to the director for review. This 7B, pathways to licensure. This package is in the drafting phase, and the package will help streamline the licensure process. It is part of a regulatory package to implement AB 282. Once the regulatory language for AB 282 is approved, staff will be reviewing the impacted sections and work with with regulatory counsel to complete the drafted language, which will then be presented to the board for review and approval. So this package is pending on a different package, which I will address a little bit later. So it is on hold pending a different package. 7C.
Ms. Mencia, just to kind of like provide a page number, this is page 336 of the continuous packet. Go ahead.
Okay. Enforcement provisions. So this package is also in the drafting phase, and the package requires statutory changes which are included in the board's sunset report. Once these statutory changes are approved, staff will be able to start drafting the regulatory language. Similarly, corporations, this package is also in the drafting stage, and similar to enforcement provisions, this package requires statutory changes, which are also included in the board's sunset report. Once these changes are approved, staff will also be able to start drafting that regulatory language. 7E, implementation of AB 282. So as I mentioned with the pathways to licensure, this that package is waiting on the implementation of AB 282. So this package is in the drafting phase. The package has been reviewed by regulatory counsel and budgets. We are making the recommended edits based on their recommendations. Once we complete the recommended changes, the package will be reviewed once more by regulatory legal counsel before we can present to the board. And 7F, research psychoanalysts regulation. So this package is also in the drafting phase. On May 10th, 2024, the board approved adoption of regulations for research psychoanalysts, and on August 16, 2024, the board approved the revised language. As of February 27th board meeting, the board staff, along with regulatory counsel, presented the option to move away from a dual package and just focus on one package. The board agreed, and staff is working with regulatory counsel to review both packages and combine them as one. And last, standards for practice for telehealth services. This package is also in the production stage. At the February board meeting, the revised regulatory language was reviewed by the board and approved. Staff is working with regulatory counsel to complete the required production documents to prepare the package for completion this year. Any questions, comments?
Any questions from the committee members? Seeing none, let's open it up to public comment.
Certainly, this is the moderator, and we are opening public comment on agenda item 7. If you'd like to make a comment, you can look for the hand icon and click that to raise your hand. Our call-in users can press *3 to raise their hands. Each speaker will have 2 minutes with a 30-second warning. We do have raised hand from Cheryl Steed. Cheryl, I'm sending you a request to unmute, and you will have 2 minutes. 1 second. There you are.
Hi, I just wanted to ask with agenda item number 5, you started with item 10, which was AB 82. Were you going to go back and review items 1 through 9 or just continue forward?
So we've completed agenda item number 5. So what we did was we took 10 out of order, and then the other bills, we just took questions if people had questions.
Okay, thank
We
you.
didn't go over them one by one.
Got it. Thank you.
And I do not see any other requests for comment. Shall I close the public comment feature?
Yes, please. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Moving ahead to agenda item number 8. It's for recommendations for agenda items for future board meetings. Note that the committee may not discuss or take action on any matter raised during this public comment section, except to decide whether to place the matter on the agenda of a future meeting. And this is based off of Government Code sections 11125 and 11125.7a, which is on the slide as well. So anything from the committee members? Seeing none, let's open it up to public comments.
Thank you. This is the moderator. If anyone would like to suggest future agenda items, you may click on the hand icon at the bottom of your WebEx screen. Our call-in users can press *3, and each speaker will have 2 minutes with a 30-second warning. Are there any suggestions for future agenda items? I do not see any requests. Shall I close that feature?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Certainly.
All right, that was our last agenda item. I would like to say that if next year for our committee meeting and Dr. Rogers is still with us, that I would love to have a mindfulness activity, no matter how short or long. I think it just like helps to get it as part of our board meetings and committee meetings. It's definitely something that I want to have in all the agenda for future meetings.
No problem at all, Dr. Kasuga. Happy to help out.
And with that, can I welcome back Mr. Polk for our CPD announcement before we adjourn?
Yes, thank you. And thank you for attending the Legislative and Regulatory Affairs Committee meeting. For attending the full duration of today's meeting, 2 hours under CPD category number 1, attendance at a California Board of Psychology meeting can be credited. The 2 CPD hours will also apply to the law and ethics requirement. For your records, please notate today's date as June 6, 2025, the name of today's meeting, which is the Legislative and Regulatory Affairs Committee meeting, and 2 hours for your records. And again, those 2 hours will also apply to law and ethics. Again, please maintain this record as certificates of attendance will not be provided. For attendees who joined by phone and called the U.S. toll phone number, please send an email to bopce@dca.ca.gov. Again, that is bopce, as in Board of Psychology Continuing Education, at dca.ca.gov with your name, license number, and the phone number of the phone you called in from. Attendees who signed in using a computer or mobile device from the WebEx link, your attendance is automatically documented and no further information is necessary. Thank you.
All right. With that said, the meeting is adjourned, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.